All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, Makak, Badash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the whole faith of Israel. And I'm not sure what I'm going to title this lesson, but pretty much going into the extent of the earth is getting ready to be put under new management, all right? Because as we stand right now, in the year 2020, all right, so-called, okay, we're supposedly in the year 2020, right, finishing up year 2020, and we're still under that Job 924 rulership, okay, the rulership of the wicked, all right, and that title, okay, is given to the so-called white man Esau Edom, okay, which, as you read in the book of Malachi, the first chapter, and the fourth verse, it'll tell you that that line of men, okay, women and children, is the seed of the wicked, okay, the people whom the Lord have indignation with forever, or against forever, right? But at the end of the day, their rulership has a time period, all right, a time period to reign and a time period to fall, all right, and ultimately be ended, all right? So right now we're at the end of so white man Esau Edom's rulership, all right? So that means somebody else is going to be raised up in his stead, all right? Really going back to the righteous, going back to their first estate. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6, I start at the top of verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Keep on reading this, verse 2. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. All right, so who sits in his seat right now? Esau, Edom, so-called white man. All right, and going to his power structure, the beast system. Okay, so-called white man being on the top. All right, and other nations, joining hand in hand onto his blessing, so to say. All right, you have going into the Psalms 83rd chapter, going into that confederacy. Okay, you got Moab, you got Ishmael. Okay, you got nations of Ham. Okay, which are the so-called Africans. All right, so on and so forth. Okay, joining hand in hand, becoming part of this system of wicked. All right, but again, it's crowned by the so-called white man Esau Edom. He is in charge. All right. But here's verse 3. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 3. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty, meaning authority, from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels. All right, so these are going into the Lord does not change. Okay, these rules, these laws, statutes, and commandments of YAHAWASHI, they are universal. Okay, these are the rules that govern existence. Okay, but going into Ecclesiastes 8th chapter, it says, because sentence against evil work is not executed speedily. All right, the hearts of sons of men are fully set to do evil. All right, so they think they're getting away with it. All right, but ultimately, going to the plan of the Lord, just like he rose up Pharaoh in Egypt. Okay, it's because he wants to show forth his power once he destroys Egypt. Okay, mighty Egypt being so-called America. All right, but I read again, Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 3. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. It's prophecy the so-called white man is in power. It's nothing but prophecy that the so-called white man Esau Edom is in power in these last days, because in the second end of the 6th chapter, it says that Esau is the end of the world. Okay, it's an era. Okay, a time frame, a time period. Okay, and we're in the time period of the wicked. All right, again, Job 9:24, but that time period is getting ready to end. Okay, just because it says in the book of Job as well, it says that it says the prosperity of the wicked is but for a moment. Okay, the triumphing of the wicked is but for a moment. All right, and the joy of a hypocrite, so on and so forth. Going into, again, this place has a time period, a time frame. Okay, because I'm gonna go and grab Daniel 2nd chapter real quick, going into the heathen rulerships, the heathen kingdoms. Okay, prior to the Lord YAHAWASHI establishing his kingdom on the planet Earth. All right, but I'm reading again. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 3. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsel. So that's what's happening to so-called white man Esau Edom. He's been searched out. He's been found. All right, now he's getting ready to be judged. Okay, ultimately it's all in the Lord's time, because again, we're waiting for prophecy, which he left us, these signs and things to look out for prior to his return. Okay, the man we're watching out for is the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, because once the devil puts this thing out, okay, things are going to speed up even more. Okay, and before you know it, we're going to look up, and Lord's will, we get beamed up, right? Period. But going into this precept, this first and foremost talking to us, okay, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right, the Lord's going to search out our counsels and try out our works. right? And, going into where we are right now, there's a reason why we're not in power right now, because we fell, okay, because of our disobedience, but ultimately we're in our timeout, okay? So the Lord set up Esau, Edom, so white man in our stead to ultimately to humiliate us, going into the basis of men, all right? And ultimately so the Lord can, show again his power, all right, to the world, all right? Because that's a sign and a wonder that this devil is in power right now, okay? But I don't want to talk too much. It's verse 5. Wisdom Solomon 6 and 5. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you. All right. For a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. So again, being in authority is a high responsibility. Okay. You have been given charge of the Lord's creation. All right. Going into, man was made to what? To be over the beasts of the field. Okay. Over the fowls. Okay. Over the creepy crawling things. Okay. Going to the things in the sea. All right. Going to the plants and, going into the trees. Right, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you've been given charge, going into, you've been given sovereignty over these things. Okay, but look what the so-called white man Esau Edom has done since he's come into power. He's done nothing but destroy the Lord's creation. Okay, so ultimately he's a curse. Okay, he's a cursed people, and the cursed people are in power. That's why the world is cursed right now. Okay, that's why it says in Isaiah, it says gross darkness to people. All right. It said darkness shall cover the earth and gross darkness to people. All right. Going into the curse. All right. The curse is the so-called white man. Okay. I'm roughly paraphrasing in the book of Isaiah. All right. Which ultimately this is the punishment for us. Okay. I want to make sure I quote it. Gross darkness. Yep. That's Isaiah 60. Right. Yeah, that was it. But there's another. I think I'm combining two pieces at the same time. Usually what happens sometimes. But it says the curse devoured or something like that. Curse. Let me see. Yeah, that's Isaiah 24. So yeah, I quoted two precepts at the same time. But it says, Isaiah 24 verse 6. Well, we start at verse 5. It says the earth is. Yeah, I read that. It's good. Isaiah 24 verse 5. The earth also was defiled under the inhabitants thereof, right? Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Okay, so again, it's talking first and foremost to us, because we've been given the laws, statutes, commandments of YAHAWASHI, only us. Okay, so of course Esau Edom, the so-called white man, being in power, he's not going to be able to uphold the righteousness of YAHAWASHI because he was not made to be righteous. All right, he was made for Proverbs 16:4, the day of evil. All right, but going to the course of the world is out of course because it's not being ran according to the laws, statutes, commandments of YAHAWASHI. All right, that's why it's defiled, because the set rules go into the instruction book, just like when you get a puzzle, or you get some type of tool. Okay, something you got to put together. You have instructions. Okay, but obviously you don't follow the instructions, you're not going to be able to use that thing or whatever it is properly. Okay, and ultimately that's the earth. All right, verse 6, Isaiah 24 verse 6. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned and few men left. Okay, so that's ultimately going to the Lord is going to cleanse this place. Okay, give a new world, a new heavens and a new earth. All right, so again, going on to the new management is getting ready to come. Okay, and that's going to be under the elect of YAHAWASHI. Okay, YAHAWASHI and the rest of his elect. I go into the 144,000 and the rest of the 1/3 going into that first resurrection. All right, but going back, which I just finished, Wisdom of Solomon 6th chapter. It says, horribly, I'll read it again. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 5, horribly and speedily shall he come upon you. All right. So going on to Esau, Edom, so-called white man. Okay. Horribly and speedily. Okay. That's why it says, I beheld Satan cast down as lightning. Okay. Very, very quick. This man's going to go down. Going into book of Revelation 18th chapter. It says, Babylon the Great has fallen. Right. In 1 hour. Okay. 1 hour, this place is going to be taken out. Great torment, great sorrow. Okay. And destruction. Okay. Because again, this place has a time period, a time where you cannot, what is a bound he cannot pass. All right. That's a time frame the Lord left for him. All right. So once that time frame is up, all right, that means he's going to be taken out. Okay. And that's his contract here. All right. Here, let me get this. This is Sirach chapter 10, Ecclesiasticus chapter 10. It's I'll start at verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people. Right? It's an unwise king. So the unwise king right now is Esau, even the so-called white man. All right, he's destroying his own people. Okay, and that's foolishness, because again, that's your own people. So, going into your posterity, okay, which is your sons. Okay, he's killing his own people. Okay, so obviously, this man's not fit for rulership. All right, but continuing, says, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So, going into by the prudence of those in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Going into the earth. Okay, and prudence pretty much mean foresight. Okay, having the vision. Okay, but ultimately, being obedient with YAHAWASHI. But it says, I think it says in Sirach 19 chapter, it says, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. Okay, so obviously the so-called white man is not prudent. All right, continuing, verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it. He will set over it one that is profitable. Okay, profitable for life. Okay, obviously the so-called white man is nothing but pure death. Okay, going into that pale horse, it says, he that sat upon was death, and hell followed. All right. So obviously he can't bring forth life on the planet Earth. Okay, so that means he can't be here too long, because the Lord didn't make the earth in vain. Okay, he's not gonna let this man destroy his creation. All right, which took how many thousands of years. All right, and it's still evolving. Okay. All right, but here, let me get to the point and wrap this up. But here, this is I'll get to Daniel. It says Daniel chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High set up a kingdom. Yes, the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So going into the Nebuchadnezzar's vision, okay, of the golden statue, okay, the head of gold, so on and so forth on down. Okay, but it says in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom. All right, so in the midst of this man's kingdom right now, when going into the so-called white man's world, you can say, all right, the Lord's setting up the kingdom of heaven. Okay, and it starts with his men. All right, the men here on this planet Earth, right, which are going to be glorified. Okay, of course, when Heavenly Father YAHAWASHI gets his glory. All right, but this is how going into that new management. Okay, this man's going to be taken up, okay, and destroyed. But the kingdom that's coming is never going to be destroyed. It's not going to be left to other people. Okay, the kingdom of heaven is not for everybody. Okay, it's for the elect of Israel, first and foremost, and the rest of of our nation. Okay, going to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. That's why it says in Second Ezra, Second Ezra, the 8th chapter, it says, Most High made this world for many, but the world to come for few. Right? When it comes to these times we're coming into, it says in that same chapter, I think it's the 3rd verse, it says, there be many created, but few shall be saved. Okay. All right. So that's ultimately going to the Lord. He has a favorite. Okay. And his favorites, okay, going into his elect, are going to be the new rulers to come. All right, forever. This is Daniel 2 and 45. And wrap this up. I'm probably going to grab Michael 4, and then I'll close out. It's Daniel 2 and 45. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that stone talking about YAHAWASHI, and it break in pieces the iron, the brass, there you go, the clay, the silver, and the gold. Right, going into these other heathen kingdoms. Okay, these other heathen empires. Okay, the head of gold going into Babylon. Okay, yeah. So the silver going into the Medo-Persians, the brass going into Greece, the iron going into Rome, and the iron and clay goes into this kingdom we have right now. The iron mixed with miry clay. Okay, the weak mixed with the strong. Okay, going into NATO and the EU. Okay, and then the so-called America being the whore that sits on top of the beast. All right, right. It says, I'll read again. It says, Daniel 2 and 45. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, and the silver and the gold. Right, these ancient heathen kingdoms. The great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. Okay, so that means ultimately it's going to come to pass. Okay, without a doubt. All right, because again, and it's all about time with the Lord. All right, so in these last days, the Lord is setting up this kingdom. All right, this kingdom is going to last forever, going into the kingdom of Israel. Okay, that's why the disciples asked later to turn into apostles. When is the Lord going to return the kingdom onto Israel? Okay, so here. It's Micah 4 verse 1. I'm going to close out Micah 4 and 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord YAHAWASHI shall be established, in the top of the mountain. So mountains likened onto governments. Okay, that's why you have these summit meetings. Okay, these are peaks of governments. Okay, the highest, going to the leaders of these governments. Okay, mountains, governments. Okay, it says, I'll read again, Micah 4:1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord, Yahawah shall be established in the top of the top of the mountains. Okay, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow onto it. Okay, flowing onto it because because of the law, of course. Okay, they got to return to the high holy days. And ultimately because of our wisdom. Because we're going to be the light of the Gentiles. Okay, going into again. The Lord giving us this wisdom now on wisdom and knowledge and understanding, right? This is our wisdom in the sight of the nations, all right? With that peculiar people, all right? It's Micah 4:2. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, Yahawah, and to the mountain of the Most High of Jacob, all right? The power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord Yahawah from Jerusalem. Okay, so again, the standard of righteousness is going to come from the Israelites. Okay, because that's who they've been designed to be. Okay, people onto Yahawah in righteousness. All right, so and that's pretty much what it is. Because you read on down and it goes into it some more. It talks about the next chapter, not the next chapter. The next verse says they're gonna the nation's not gonna learn war no more. Gonna beat their swords into plowshares and spears into pruning hooks. Right, so this is going into ultimately, being true peace on the planet Earth, and that's when wickedness is taken out and the righteous are put in authority. All right, so again, title going into new management. All right, and that's what it is. And that's what we're anticipating. Because again, the Lord's will be part of that. Going into us, being joint heirs in the kingdom to come. All right, so with that, Lord's word is edifying. As always, want to give all praise to Yahawah Shai, by Shem Kakodash, the bonus of the elders and apostles of a millstone, peace and blessings for the whole faith of Israel. Shalom.